So the classic setup, as you can see here, I've got a big softbox running to camera right. So this is running at the 4 or 5 o'clock position. In fact, it's more like the 5 o'clock. We've got the triflector below here, so it's reflective panels that actually move. Then we've got a big black reflector just off to the side, just next to the television. And then behind us, I've got the last light highlight, which is going to be acting as my perfect high key. I've metered in advance, so my aperture on camera is f8. That's metered from the face to the light source, of course. But remember, working at 400 ISO, we're going to start in the classic style for Vicky, who's our first head shot of the day. And then the background light is metered at f16. You should also see that there's a strip box just actually switched off in the background for a minute, because we're only going to be using the 2 lights. But when I want to get through to the mid-key kind of the styling, that's already set to my f4, so I can basically switch off my background light and I'm basically ready to run in a classic mid-key kind of styling as well with it. And remember, at any stage I can play that ISO game. The key thing is to illuminate the subject fully, to make sure we've got some shadow inside of the face. That's what the black reflector is for here, to absorb some of the light so it just doesn't spill around the place. And then obviously kind of reflect some of that light back up again, but don't overlight it like it's a horror. First thing I need to do with any client though is to make sure I'm photographing them with their best side. So the first 3 shots I do is them looking straight towards camera position, then kind of turning the head towards the light more to the one side, looking towards camera again, and then actually turning the head away from it more and actually looking back towards camera. So the eyes are always at camera position. It's just I want to see which is actually the best side of the face, and it's incredible what is the best side of the face, I promise you, and you need to go through that styling each time, of course, yeah, to make sure it's right. And of course, if you weren't working in the constraints of here today, we could be able to move the main light source here from basically camera right, i.e. in this case it's at the 4 to 5 o'clock position, over to camera left, which would be in the 7 to 8 o'clock position, depends on the subject's face and things really. So classic f8 style, 85mm lens, let's get on with it. Okay, Victoria, come on in for me, darling. Just come behind the set. And just walk up to me just a little bit more. That's brilliant. And just turn the body that way. You've done that already. Just open the legs just a little bit more and put all the weight on the back foot if you can. If you turn the head straight onto me first, please. Right turn. If you turn the face, that's great, just there. Just keep it. Now turn the head around more to here. More. Eyes at me, though, please. And turn the head back towards here now. And the eyes at me again. That's great, just there. Keep it. Not as much. Come back a little bit more. There you go, brilliant, just there. Great, let's just have a quick look at that. Excellent, come up to me a little bit more, darling. That's lovely, a little bit more. Okay, so the eyes are at me all the time. Little lean with the head onto towards here. Can you just lean the head onto this side a light? Turn the nose to me a little bit, that's great, just there. And again, keep it, lower the chin a little bit, that's good. Relax, nice shot. Okay, so let's just go to the one light a minute. Keep it, quick test. Beautiful, and there for me. Slight turn the head to me a touch more, twist the body as well. Relax, let me just switch the other light on. So just moved from the classic high key f8, changed the ISO down, got a few of the creative. We're just doing the portrait style of shot for a minute, but now I've gone to just switch on the other background separation light, and I've just got to switch off the high key part. So I've done a few. This is that same high key setup, but I've just switched the background light off. That's why it's looking grey and muddy in the background with it, okay? What I want now is separation light. So I'm keeping to the classic. So the separation light is on the same side. So it's at the 1 to 2 o'clock position. It's set to f4, so it's given me that classic at the f8 here. Okay, let's do a quick test. Vicky, come up to me a little bit more, darling. A little lean with the head for me again. Turn the head around to me again. That's beautiful. 1 second. Excellent. So you'll see here, this is just the JPEG that we're seeing, and it's a classic black and white, guaranteed. The only thing we've got to look at, of course, now that the jacket is picking up more light than the face, if I want to actually minimize this, it's not a problem. I've got great catch lights running on in the eyes, but what I'm going to do is just raise this up higher. So it's going to catch a little bit of the bottom of the light. We can tilt this down as well if we want, just to actually allow it to drop. But you can see now, all I'm doing is just bringing it around slightly nearer to the 6 o'clock position, but it's still now more at the 5. Let's quick shot again. Don't turn the head around towards me. That's lovely. Quick test. And if I switch it to all now, that'll put on the back, the separation light as well. I'll just show you what that's like. The separation alone. And I'll go all. So you can see what that's doing, yeah? It's just bringing that lovely separation going down. Remember, that's set at 2 stops less. Okay, that's gorgeous. Little lean with the head for me again, darling. Happier. You can do it. Nice shot. Do you have a darker top at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for a darker.
I got a darker top.
Let's go for a darker top. Brilliant. So basically what we've done, we've slipped straight from the high key classic into the simple one light setup in here. So this greyish background that we're seeing is basically the highlight that is not lit. So that the background light is switched off. Now I can do that from just my trigger on camera. I can switch on different groups on and off. But what I can only do is either shoot one group or all groups. So that's where I went to group 1, which is always my main light. Then to add on that separation, as I've shown to you, I wanted to create that separation light here. So I switched the highlight fully off, as I said. I'd switched off the secondary light now, which is that separation light, to actually give us that real kind of the positive pop off the page. And so it just adds that little bit of illumination to the hair. And again, as far as the kind of the basic classics are concerned, we're almost done at that point. Just sent Victoria off to just get changed. So gone from the white top against the grey background now, just gone to a little bit darker, just to bring the tonality down. But again, if you think about an hour shoot, you should be able to actually kind of drop through quite a few styles in the first 15 minutes without any trouble. It gives you more time at the end to concentrate on the classic then. Victoria, come on through, darling. Just there for me again. Okay, let's keep it. Happier, fake it more, that's lovely. Relax, let me just change my ISO. Just going to bring that reflective panel up as well for you. Same pose again, really lean into me. That's lovely, it's there. Gorgeous girl, no problem. So we've just done a few kind of shots there in the mid-key creative. Before we change around onto the low key now, just sent Victoria off to get changed again. But we're just working in the creative part, which means, as you can see, we've got this perfectly pin-sharp eyes, teeth and nose. But in fact, if we look at the hair now, it's basically gone across here. So we've kept that the sharpness, and that's the difference between shooting at the f8 kind of classic and the f4 creative depth of field with it. Very simple. That's just a 2-light setup. Let's not forget that. That's the key light source, the main big softbox, and the separation light going on there. So we're just going to move the highlight out of the way. We're going to go first of all to the grey background paper, unlit. And then we'll actually just bring the old master in to finish off the session. Come up to me more. We're right up to here again. Going to do that same lean for me. That's lovely. Great. Quick set, quick test again. Black is your colour, isn't it? So I've shot the first test shot in the low key. I'm just going to bring the separation light from this side now over to this side. You can see, even though we're using a darker background, it's not black at all, but it's looking black. There's a little bit of detail in there. Remember, we're just viewing here actually on the black and white mode on camera. So I'm just going to slide that strip box just to the opposite side. And what I'll do now is give us that illumination onto the left-hand side as I look at Victoria. Turn the head to me, that's lovely. A little lean again, keep that. Keep it, relax, just have a little look. Brilliant. Okay, let's do that. Straight at me again. Relax, beautiful shot. So let's just take a few more in a little bit more classic portraiture. So I'm just going to get the light back into position, ready to slide in that old master background. So just going to do a classic, so no leaning this time for me. Vicky, if you don't mind. Keep it. And let's just turn the body to me a fraction. Whoa, that's lovely. Try and turn the feet for me, because you'll keep still then. That's lovely. And let's lose the hands behind the back, I think. That's lovely. A little lean with the head onto here again. A little bit more. That's lovely. Keep it. Again. Happier. That's lovely. Let's just slide that old master in a minute. So these pop-up backgrounds are great, whether within studio or working on location. Just allows us to have a little bit of a variety. I'm just going to lean it onto the background paper for now. Preferably, though, you want to use one of the hangers, which we'll kind of use in a minute. But this will just allow a little bit of lightness behind the image. I'll just show you the quick test in a minute. So you can see already now we get that separation. It's giving us that old master effect. Haven't done anything else. We haven't added any more lighting in there, whatever. But you can see the difference, how it starts to kind of really allow Victoria to be separated with no extra work at all with it. Okay, darling, turning the body to me again. That's lovely. A little lean with the head on the side again. Lower the chin a touch more. Let me just go back to the classic. Here we go, let's do it. Excellent. And again, little expression. Fake it more. Lovely, relax. So you can see here how it just separates fully. This is where I've gone back to the f8 though. This allows that little bit more depth of field compared to where we were before. So again, it's just being careful, you know what you're doing and repeating that kind of same task. So what we just shot with Victoria was classic high key, good depth of field. We did through a couple of the creative mid-key in there before she got changed, and actually we had that creativity again with just aperture, that's all, nothing really in the light in, except remember what we did, we switched on that secondary light to give us the separation actually on the hair, and then actually when we were working in the low key to the low key master in here, we're still using those two light sources. So it's amazing what you can do with just two lights. Even in a studio like we've got here with lots of equipment around us, you've got to think about what the equipment's doing. I suppose the last but no means least is actually, let me just go behind a minute and I'll just talk about that triflector. The triflector panel here, I was being careful what to actually use. So I'm just kind of dropping this in and out, this one, yeah, just to actually change the different kind of look and feel to the photograph. This is obviously going to overfill the light on here, but I was turning ahead quite a long way away. It's quite Hollywood style of 1920s, 1930s anyway. But what this is doing is bouncing all the light off these panels. Each one can change its position to add an extra reflectancy no matter what. But in this case, for the start of the shoot with the high key, we didn't use it at all. So that was out of photograph. But then when we started to work in the mid key to the high key, I brought it in. I can change over these as well. I've got white ones and I've got kind of stripe ones, so to control the amount of reflectancy. But in the low keys, we just saw really the big difference was adding in that old master background. And that's Victoria. Classics in the beginning, creative at the end. So in this next session, we got Chris in, just fresh out of drama school. Remember, his career is in my hands. You need to get the great headshots to get a casting director to go, oh, he looks okay, get him in. And then obviously it's up to Chris to do the rest then. But my job today is to make sure we got some great headshots for him to actually get out there in the wilderness, as it were, to actually try and attract somebody's attention. Style, we're going just on the creative, just on the F4. So ISO's been reset and the aperture's been reset to actually the F4. Remember, classic ISO game, we're working at 400 ISO F8, and then we kind of reduce it down to actually meet to where we want to go. So what are we doing? We're going to be photographing high key first, but now we're using the clamshell. So the clamshell traditionally is a big light source, either coming from above the camera position, pointing towards the subject, or just in front of camera position, again pointing towards the subject with it. And then it needs a reflector below to bounce some of the light in back. I'm quite high, Chris is much taller than I am, so I can either go up on a little step stool or I can get Chris lower. So in this case, I'm going to do Chris lower, and we want to make sure he's looking up as well. We're going to stretch all the actual skin through the neckline and the shoulders and everything else to really enhance that. We're using a subtractor during some of the high key images as well. I wanted to show you it in this section because when you're working with high key, when light is either bouncing off a background wall or coming through a last light highlight by Manfrotto like you're seeing here, basically it could add a little bit of kind of catch light coming down onto the side of the face, almost looking like you've added a third light in. Well, I like that in the creativity, but there's also times that with some clients it can actually deform the face a little bit more or exaggerate the jaw and things really. But I want to show you in this series how we just use the black pop-up background, in fact, which has been there all the time, but we're also going to use it as a subtractor of light as well with it. So we're going to do mid-key, high key, of course, that's what we're beginning with, mid-key, back into low key and old master, and then we're going to look at a little bit more of a kind of a lifestyle for the kind of the style 8, as it were, to actually just bring that in just a little bit more. Just come on the edge of the seat just a little bit more for me. That's brilliant, mate. I'm just going to pop this up as well. Just meter first. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to do a bit of the best side of the face for you a minute. So turn the face square on, it's good. It's that, isn't it? Yeah. What a difference, eh? Okay, so we're going to photograph you from that side. Chris, if you go grab a seat again. Yeah. Turn the body around towards here a little bit more. That's it, brilliant. Still going to lean the head onto this side for me. That's great, just there. Keep it. Let me come a little bit closer. Stare to the top. So if you just drop the chin down a little bit more, just stare to the real part by here for me. That's good, just there. Just check it. Nice. Excellent. Bit of expression for me. Fake it more. You can do it. Excellent. Raise the chin a touch. 1 second, let me just drop this down. That'll just add a little bit more shadow side of the face, that's all. Let's keep it. Let me just check that one. So from the clamshell, just going to move this now into the classic 45. So it's basically washing in front of Chris. Just need to meter that again though, just to make sure. Excellent. Okay, just leaning forward again for me, Chris. Lower that chin. That's brilliant. Again, turn the head this way a touch more. Excellent shot. 1 sec. Okay, let's do it, bud. Little expression. Fake it more. Excellent. And again, relax. Okay, let's just go to mid-key. Just going to switch that backlight off a minute. Let me just see the first shot. So we can see that kind of really working in mid-key, but you can see why I would want to turn this into monochrome. Realistically, it doesn't matter if it's a white background, a white wall, it's unlit at this point, yeah? So if I want to do the true mid-key, I like to add in that separation light. If I want to use it in the classics, it would be on this side, so it would be on the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock position. Or if I want to add it as the creative, I'd actually usually put it on the 10 to 11. I do think, though, for Chris, I think it's going to be better on the 1 to 2 o'clock. Okay, so it's amazing. We'll just switch it on and leave it on where it is there. Just switching off this background light fully. And then I'm just going to power this one up. I'm just going to tilt this down more and raise it up a little bit. I'm going to bring this black panel in closer though to Chris. I want a little bit more deeper shadow there. That would be very important in fact, if you're working in a very small space, because you might have, you know, in a small boardroom or a client's home, you might have a white wall there straight away with it. So you want to kind of remove that reflectancy, deepen that shadow just a little bit more. Let's turn it into black and white to shoot with. So a quick test again, Chris. A little lean again for me, if you could, please. Leaning forward more. That's good just there. Quick test. Switch it. I'll just show you the one light first. And then we'll put them both on and we'll just do a quick comparison while Chris goes off to get changed, I think. Let's do that. So this is our no separation light, and this is the separation light here. Look how the hair's just come alive. The white shirt for me is just a little bit bright. Okay, so I'll just do 2 or 3. A few expressions, just because Chris is here. I wouldn't usually talk back to camera, of course, when we're doing the shoot. So just probably, you know, 6 or 7 shots, different expressions, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd suggest we go to a lower colour shirt and things really. So let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Excellent. Turn the head this way. That's great. Keep it. Excellent. Little expression. Nice. Good. Let me just drop that background down. I'll just move the white background a minute. Okay, let's do the same thing. Quick test. That's really good. I think, though, just before we get going, I'm going to add that third light into the equation, either as a separation or to light the background with it and things really. Same thing again, but just keep it. So now we can see, by adding that the separation off, it absolutely jumps off the page fully there. Let me just get you a little footstool. You can put one leg on there. Really lean onto that knee. There's the shot. Again, expression, faking it, go on. Excellent, mate. Let's go into a dark top, can we? So in the lower key, just going to go with the old master background again. Remember, because of its light middle, It just really kind of allows a very low-key image without any problem. Remember, I've got this black background here, okay? At any stage, I spin it around, I put it in the way, as long as it doesn't kind of mask off all the other lights, we're straight away into a different photograph. As far as the distance from the background, probably looking around, for me, in this size studio with it, 8 to 10 feet minimum, yeah, because I've got the space. But in a normal kind of, I don't know, 21 feet by 15 feet wide studio, probably you're looking about 6 feet depth is the only thing you want to do. That's the key thing about the prime lens, in fact, because it allows you to really get close up, 85mm of course, that's what we're on about, and actually drop out that depth of field quickly, whereas if you only had a 7200 lens and you've only got a small studio space, you're going to run out of space very, very fast. You done? Excellent. Oh, you were quick. Great, 1 sec. Right, straight at me again. Keep it. Excellent. Little smile more. Excellent, more. Great, let's do some horizontals upon a minute. Quick test, Chris. That's great. Okay, let's do it again. Happier. You can do it. Bigger expression. Big, huge laughter. Just look at there. Excellence there. Great. Just looking down to here and laughing big for it. Go, go, go. Excellent. Wicked relax. So I want the laughter again, but the eyes much higher to here, okay? Big, go for it. Wrap. If you lower the chin more though, and your eyes can get bigger up here, go for it. Excellent. Relax. Brilliant. Okay, let's just finish off with some low key and then we'll get you leaning on the wall or whatever. Really nice that. Okay, let's quick test again. Great. Really lean in, Chris. Again. Excellent. Slight expression. Give it to me more. That's good just there. Lower the chin more for me. Fake it again for me. That's excellent. And again, keep it. Let's do some verticals as well. Again, lower the chin, bud. Turn the nose this way a little bit. Raise your chin now. Relax. Nice. If we do the quick comparison there between the old master background and the low-key background, you can see straight away that this just looks solid, which is good. But in fact, I prefer that little bit of a smokiness behind and things. And if I was cutting out, in fact, I would prefer to cut out from this image than I would from a pure black. So if you are ever doing compositional groups or whatever it would be, we obviously want things to be absolutely the same. So you need to kind of do a photograph with your iPhone in case you're doing some shots this week, some shots next week, or whatever it be. Even in studio, make your notes as well so you actually know what is going to be done. But you can see the smokiness here. Combine that with the F4 creative. What you want to make sure is that you're always style training. You know exactly how to repeat things time and time again. So before we finish, I'm just going to get Chris to get changed again into a slightly lighter top, and we'll just do a little bit more kind of leaning against the wall or whatever. We'll just kind of chill it down a little bit as a part of this session. Turning the head in towards the wall more. Let's keep it. 1 sec. Great. Okay, let's do it. Excellent. Big expression. And again, lower the chin more. That's great. Let me just get the reflector. Okay, straighten me again. It's cool. Lower the chin, mate. Excellent. Little half expression. Excellent. Bigger again for me. It's cool. And again. Turn the body that way a little bit more. So you know, other way. No. That's it. Good. Keep it. Again. Serious. Oh, okay. Big smile then. Go. There you go. And again. Lower the chin more. Serious again. Excellent, bud. Just look back to us. Let's meter that a minute. 4.5. Turn the head to me a little bit more, Chris. Twist the body to me a little bit. Let's go with the arms crossed again, bud. Lower the chin again for me. More. 1 sec. Keep it. Okay. Turn around to me more, Chris, fully. And just leaning in on that one leg again, I think. There you go. Out to there. Move this to there. Turn the shoulders round towards here again for me, as much as you can. Cool. Turn the head back around towards here now. Quick test. Lean into me as well, Chris, though, if you can. More. Excellent. Nice. Let's just switch that backlight off a minute. And again, and just check it. Switch the other light on as well. Again for me. Again, raise the chin a touch. Little expression, just half. A little bit of teeth. Great. So what I did by here, in fact, I started off with the softbox as normal, but then I finished off with the mini spot, which is basically a focusable spot, which is amazing. But if you've got a snoot, that'll do a similar job, not the same, but it'll do a similar job with it. And basically what I'm doing is getting him to lean against the wall just a little bit, and to make sure I'm maximizing the styling of actually his pose and dynamic and things, really. A little bit more attention to detail and things, really. But I was shooting in the last part with this mini spot, as you can see here, and I did a variety of either the separation light on or off. The separation light, as you can see, is just bringing a little bit of light to that ear. It's not the end of the world and things, really. But again, it depends on the kind of look and feel that you want. This is the shot, again, with the softbox strip box on, and then this is with the spotlight on, but it's actually coming in from the left side. You'll always tell where the light direction is from, of course, from the nose shadow. But you can see here what I've been on about to you as far as the styling is concerned, that creative style of the f4. I know you'll be tempted to go to f2.8 and 1.8 and 1.4 and 1.2 if you've got that extreme lens, but really it's no good. It's not good for us here because it's going to drop the depth of field out of too soon with it. So as far as the look and the feel, these got a bit of a daylight quality to it. We've got this big light source. We'll go into the eyes again. You can see what's going on there. We've got that big the softbox coming in. We've got that little bit of a tri-grip. I'm hand holding that tri-grip reflector to just pop that extra little light in and towards the eyes. Absolutely pin sharp. And we've got that little bit of light going off in the background. I'm switching that on and off, in fact, really. You can't tell. Let me just show you. Basically, on the trigger, it allows me to shoot all, or I can change the group to either 1. 1 is always my key light, no matter what. As a rule, 4 is always the the corner light. So in other words, my 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock light. Group 2 would be a fill light position, or in this case, when we're using the highlight, it would have been group 2. And then the group 3 would have been left Kaltner, which is 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock position. If there's method, you know exactly the same every time you're doing, and these recipes are there for you to repeat and things, really. So if we just kind of have a little kind of quick look at those images, we can see we've got such a variety of photographs in such a minimal amount of time here. Starting off from our facial analysis, the difference of why it's essential for you as a headshot photographer to really learn the subject. Now, again, as far as when he's looking to this right-hand side, it's thinning of the face more. We're not on about where the direction of light is coming from, because theoretically, this is a fattening of the face anyway, because the light is coming in from the one side. I'm not looking at that. I'm actually looking at the face shape of what is thinning and so on with it. And because we were working in the clamshell position, theoretically, there is no light or dark side to the face. They are the same, yeah? If the light had been positioned on the right, then you would say, that's why that one looks bad, because it's on the right-hand side. But it's not. It's right above camera position. So this facial analysis is absolutely essential for you to learn what is the best side of that client. And remember, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we're seeing the reverse. So when somebody says, I really like this side of the face, yeah, do they actually mean that side of the face? What are they looking at within the mirror and things, really? Anyway, but variety there. Everything was in the F4, so no kind of mixing it up. So we went from the high key to the mid key, to the mid key then with separation. Then we went to the a darker top. So we had that, but this is with the old master background. Then we basically brought in the black background, so that gives us that look. So we're in all creative style at this point, but it's high key, mid key separation, mid key, low master, so the master class kind of style, then in our low key, and then we finished off then with just a few in the lifestyle kind of images. So remember, we added in the double separation light, but then we finished off with this kind of real mini spot kind of look. So when you look at the variety that you can get with any normal person coming into you, realistically, if we control clicked away that image and that image, and we look at the variety, so that is technically the same as that, and that is the same as that one. We've got a great variety there, and that is being shot in such a slow time. So we've got high key creative, just because it's on F4, all right? Mid key creative, just because it's on F4. Then we've got our old master creative, F4, getting the hint now, yeah? Low key creative. And then we're actually into more of a lifestyle, and then we're actually just coming in with that little bit more of a kind of a creative edge with it and things, really. So think about the systems and think about your recipes and think how you can kind of just get through them. We can often spend way too long on images trying to get that perfect photograph. And again, that's why when we're shooting the high key images here, why is there's just so many of them. When photographers say, oh, included in your session is 300 photographs, realistically what they're doing is they're doing it on motor drive and kind of, you know, there you go get change your shirt, next lot. What I'm looking at is variety. I want the client to go away with, in that hour slot, at least 20 really great images. But if they're buying for a package with them all on USB or as a download with it, that's really up to them of how they kind of decide to buy the package. But my job is to get that variety to entice them to buy more images. Okay, this kind of session would include one retouched image, and then you'd have to pay for any others to be retouched with it. And I promise you, this is their life. They need to make money from these photographs. So again, they're going to choose the right kind of photographs. So if you just kind of click off those for a minute, those kind of images there will get somebody a job. That's what it's about. But is he just going to look bland? That's where we've got to bring this great character alive. That's it. You need him to step out from the crowd. And if all he's got is a lot of these images, serious, blah, 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 then the casting directors are just going to pass him by. And you could tell that Chris is a really great guy, in fact, really. But you need to actually bring him out in the photographs. That's the key thing.